Town Madison's requests are laid out in this deal with an $18 million funding increase, funding that will go towards infrastructure demands to bring minor league baseball to this exact location. In this letter, guidelines are laid out for employees. Right behind me is the entrance into Par Pharmaceuticals. Not many vehicles have been traveling in or out. They are not allowing anyone onto Redstone Arsenal right now. Everything is pretty much on lockdown. There still are restrictions around the Sparkman Center.
Christina, you were there for that press conference. You heard from Chris Colster.
Chris did say that they will still have leadership from Garrison. Students can actually walk by the wall, grab an idea. The one I'm holding says make a new friend. Once you make that new friend, you put it on the accomplishments wall. You guys are out here marching in solidarity. What are you guys hoping to achieve here? What we're seeing here today is the Orion stage adapter, a part of the Space Launch System. It will contain 13 payloads. They are all the size of a shoebox.
A used car owner is sending a warning to all vehicle owners.
The warning comes after he says he discovered his SUV was flooded in a hurricane. He explained to our Christina Ailsworth how he found out.
When I was detailing, I remember.
David Bolding is running into a roadblock with his 2005 GMC Yukon. He financed it for about $21,000 in 2016 from Carmart on Highway 31 in Decatur. After trying to trade it, he was told by another dealership alerts popped up on the SUV's history report.
And I went to Lynn Layton. They did the Carfax on this vehicle. It said in 05 it came from Louisiana up underwater. It was a Savage.
According to Bolding, that condition was never disclosed to him. He went back to Carmart with questions.
The manager out there named Darren. So I spoke to Darren. I said, Darren, I said, man, I can't trade this vehicle. He talking about it was his mistake. He didn't know nothing about it.
Bolding is in contact with Carmart but says their resolutions are unacceptable. We made a trip to the dealership to speak with the GM.
I was just wondering if you would mind answering a few questions about, how you guys
You can go ahead and call this number right here. Everything's going to be handled through our corporate office.
Okay. I did speak with corporate and was told I would receive a call back.
If it ain't had no water damage or nothing, I can trade it.
When you're looking for a new vehicle, you want to make sure you always check your title and ask for a copy of a Carfax report.
Carmart still had the title. It said Savage. It said Savage.
Bolding says he was shown the title for the first time after he confronted the dealership. We have yet to see the title to confirm what he saw.
When I found out that it was Savage, I guess, want my money back and the time I had got in it,
Christina Ailsworth, WZDX News. It was a tip from a member of the Muslim community from right here in Huntsville that led to Syed's arrest. That type of community relationship and trust is what U.S. Attorney Jay Town spoke about in Thursday's press conference.
We're completely out of excuses as to why we would not say something if we see something any longer.
Oftentimes we talk about tragedies in the aftermath, but in this case, because law enforcement was quick to respond, from the U.S. Attorney's Office to Huntsville Police, another disaster was avoided.
We've seen too much destruction, too much in the wake of doing nothing.
Syed admitted to Judge Abdul Kalan he wanted to carry out acts of violence, including murders, bombings, and kidnappings. He also wanted to create a network bringing others in to increase an ISIS reach. We caught up with his attorney after court.
In my heart of hearts, I don't think he ever would have really done it, but that's what he did. Far exceeded breaking the law, don't get me wrong.
With this plea agreement, Syed is facing up to 20 years max. His defense team is asking for 15. He will also be under a lifetime supervised release once he serves his time. A spokesperson for Syed's family was in court today and told me his family is ashamed of his actions and had no idea he was capable of doing something like this. Putting the Valley first in Birmingham, Christina Ailsworth, WZDX News.
Christina Ailsworth was at the Board of Education meeting today where dozens showed up with a list of demands for school leaders.
Tanner High parents, former teachers, and students stood outside the Limestone County Board of Education hoping to get their message heard. They want Lewis Gordon reinstated as principal. They also talked about what they are calling the elephant in the room, race.
We just need to tell it like it is.
Lewis Gordon is still off the job, and now more than ever, folks in the Tanner community say they want answers.
Now, if the man has done something wrong, then say it. But if he hasn't, then let him go on and let our children advance.
The problem revolves around unanswered questions on what led to Gordon's dismissal and the lack of proof his removal was justified. They are calling for his reinstatement.
I thank the principal for everything he has done, and I thank the teachers that told him he was a failure.
School officials have said there were complaints about Tanner's environment under Gordon, but these parents are singing his praises.
Test scores that Tanner have really went up fine since Mr. Gordon has taken over fine. If you look at the test scores from last year fine, most of the kids were failing.
According to a former student, for the first time in at least 2 years, Tanner's library is back open. He credits Mr. Gordon for that. Despite protests, Superintendent Tom Sisk and board members felt it was necessary to remove him.
People in the community is going around asking, well, did he do something to a kid?
The NAACP is saying the district is leading an attack on Gordon's character, and actions taken against Gordon were not taken in recent incidents, referring to a threat the agency says was made against Gordon by a Tanner High employee.
I'm not speaking to race, but you know, if it looks like a duck, it is a duck.
We can't set the bar for our children if we can't get over this.
Putting the Valley first, Christina Ailsworth, WZDX News.
Good morning, students, faculty, and staff of Athens High School.
Student council members came up with an alternative to walking out of class, sharing acts of kindness.
The students are as follows. Jamie Guttenberg.
After reading the names of the 14 students and 3 teachers killed in the Parkland School massacre, a moment of silence was observed.
The school shooting just really tore me up, and just being able to do a small something for them, I just like that could go a long way.
A simple smile can change the course of someone else's week.
Their message aims to uplift peers, and in doing so, the student council created the Acts of Kindness wall.
That's a major accomplishment in itself.
Students can actually walk by the wall, grab an idea. The one I'm holding says make a new friend. Once you make that new friend, you put it on the accomplishments wall.
We're also hoping that it just creates a better school environment and where more people just feel involved and feel loved on.
These students think that one act of kindness is a way to prevent school violence, preventing a student, teacher, or school worker from going over the edge.
It is our hope that focusing on love and kindness will help to bring an end to a horrific events such as shooting at Stoneman Douglas. We deserve better.
Putting the Valley first.
Kindness matters, and a little kindness can go a long way.
Christina Ailsworth, WZDX News.